So it's the stylist, the look, and then the what's it called, and then the designer. It's just the same way it works in properties. I have an engineering background, so I can relate to that. When you want to build a house, you talk to your architect first, right? They design, they come up with the architectural design, the building, and all of those things, how you relate with your building and all of that. Then you now get an engineer to build for you, right? So the architect, the design of the building, and then the engineer. The same way, the stylist, the look, and the designer. Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Timlane Fagbemi, and I'm the creative lead at TOF. Starting today, we are happy to announce the beginning of a new series tagged Fashion Styling Tips with TOF. Yeah, so this first episode is tailored towards weddings. So if you're getting married in 2026, you need to be on the front row right now. Yeah. So we want to talk about your wedding looks journey, right? Your wedding looks journey. How should you go about it? Where should you start from? How should the thought process be, right? Your wedding is one of the biggest days of your life, and it just makes sense that you do it in style, right? And the way it should be, right, is that you start with your stylist, right? And a lot of people think you start with your fashion designer and all of that, but actually the way it should be is that you start with your stylist. You have a consultation with your stylist. They have a sit down with you either virtually or in person. They understand, they take your brief, right? They understand your personality. They understand what you're trying to look like for that day. They take all of this information, use it to come up with some type of looks for you, right? The stylists get to work with a couple of other stakeholders in the industry, like fashion illustrators, right? So the thing is visible. They can design things through illustrations and show to you, right? There might be a couple of back and forth in terms of colors, fabric types to use, the design and the silhouette of all of these things, but you're going to achieve something. And the reason why you should go for a a fashion stylist is because they can think about all of the process in full, right? The way you should look on your body, the drape, you understand the colors that will work. They understand style. They understand style from different generation to different generation, and they can be able to put you through. Right, so it streamlines the process of you going to Google or Pinterest and looking for all of these things, right? They understand that even apart from the design of the look itself, the accessorizing, the footwears, and the look in general, they can put it into perspective for you, right? So it is after doing all of this with your stylist that you now come up with a look. Now, it starts from the stylist, right? The stylist work with stakeholders like illustrators so that it can be visual and you can see it's not just conversations. You can see and appreciate what you're going to be wearing, right? And then when you've achieved that look, that is when the stylist can then recommend designers, right? Because the work of a stylist is to be able to recommend designers that can bring that look into life, right? To life, rather. So the stylist will know designers, and they should, the work of stylists to know designers also and to know their strengths, right? That this person can actually do this kind of design. Or if it is this type of look, this person can do. For instance, some designers are tailored to make corporate outfits. Some are tailored to make traditionals, right? Some are tailored to make casual wears, right? So the stylist can be able to, give you options, and then you can now say eventually if you have about 10 looks, okay, the 10 looks are going to the same designer, or okay, two are going to one designer rather, and then a couple of others are going to other designers, right? So the journey starts from your stylist, right? Then you get your look, then you now get a designer to make the clothes. Now, at the end of the day, you see that some of the time, this is not the order of the way things are done, right? Most of the time, you just go to your designer, and then the designer is the one that does the job of a stylist, and then put all of these designs together for you, and then you can eventually now come up with a look, and then they produce. Right? That is the way it should be. That is the way it is right now, but that is actually not the way it should be. right? At the end of the day, some fashion designers still have those skills to be able to come up with designs and do that for you, but that's not their primary job, right? And at the end of the day, they can still also double as your stylist. That's why sometimes designers are called stylists, and the words are being used interchangeably, right? So your stylist, the look, and then the designs, and then the designer. So I hope you've been able to pick something from this episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Yeah.